What happens when a person takes control over a plane and demands $150 million? Let's find out. The movie we're going to recap today is non-stop. Turn on the subtitles, and spoilers ahead. Bill Marks is an alcoholic U.S. air marshal who's finding it difficult to cope with his daughter's death. As an air marshal, Bill is required to travel disguised as a common passenger in commercial flights to take action in an event of hijacking or any criminal activities. For his next duty, he's going to board a flight traveling from New York to London. Before getting inside the airport, Bill is approached by a stranger who asks where he's going. When Bill doesn't reply to his question, the strange man tells Bill that he's traveling to Amsterdam, so different destinations for both. While waiting for his flight, Bill scans all the people who are going to board the same flight as him to look for any suspicious behavior. The passenger who's going to sit next to Bill is Zach White, a software engineer traveling to London for a job interview. But Zach leaves his seat for another passenger named Jen Summers, who has been looking for a window seat. Bill is a nervous flyer, so Jen tries to calm him down as the plane takes off. As an air marshal, Bill is authorized to carry a gun inside the plane, and the only people to know about him are the flight crew. A few hours into the flight, Bill receives a message from a person who claims to be one of the passengers inside the plane. The mysterious passenger even knows that Bill was smoking inside the plane lavatory. Bill senses that someone isn't joking around. He looks around the business class and sees no one using a phone. As he walks into the economy class and looks for who it could be, Bill gets another text telling him to set his watch timer at 20 minutes, and the mysterious passenger demands $150 million to be transferred to a bank account. If the said money isn't transferred within 20 minutes, one of the passengers will lose their life. Since a passenger's life might be in danger, Bill takes the threat seriously and sets his watch timer to 20 minutes. He walks forward and signals his partner, Jack Hammond, to meet him. Bill asks Jack if he's trying to play a prank on him, but Jack shows him his phone and proves his innocence on this matter. Bill informs his partner about the demand for $150 million. Jack believes it's just a prank by someone who knows Bill and says they shouldn't pay attention to it. But Bill feels that something is wrong. He goes to the main pilot and shows him the messages he got. The main pilot suggests they should divert the plane if the threat is real, but the nearest airport is 95 minutes away. They don't have enough time to validate the threat or get everyone to safety. Bill comes up with a plan to identify the person who has been sending him messages. He asks Jen Summers for help, as she was beside him when he got the threat texts, so he believes her to be innocent. He goes to check the airplane footage and asks air hostess Nancy and Jen to scan the live footage and mark anyone who's using their phone. Bill sends a message to the mysterious passenger, and whenever he gets a reply, Nancy and Jen mark passengers who seem to be on their phone. After marking quite a few passengers, Jen also marks Bill's partner Jack. Bill says that Jack is clean, but Jen finds him constantly on his phone whenever Bill receives a message. Bill finds Jack really suspicious, and when he gets up from his seat, Bill follows him to the lavatory. Bill asks him why he's doing this, and Jack replies that he just needs the money. He even promises to give a percentage of the money to Bill if he chooses to play along. But when Bill refuses his offer, Jack attacks him and tries to stop him from ruining his plan. The two get into a fight and Jack's gun slips away from his hand. Bill somehow manages to restrain Jack, but when he sees that Jack isn't backing away from trying to kill him, Bill snaps his neck. Just seconds after Jack's death, Bill's timer sets off indicating the 20 minutes are up. Bill picks up Jack's damaged phone from the sink and gets out, and then he receives a message from the mysterious passenger, which means that Jack wasn't the one sending threats to Bill. And just as the mysterious passenger had warned, a passenger had died on the airplane. Bill now realizes that he has a more dangerous foe to deal with. The mysterious passenger tells Bill to reset his watch and the game restarts. If $150 million isn't transferred, one more passenger will die. Bill goes to the main pilot to discuss the situation, but the main pilot informs him that the account number which the mysterious passenger gave is in Bill's name. Bill is surprised to hear this, as he never opened an offshore account. The pilot asks if anything has happened since the 20 minutes have passed by. With suspicion over Bill's name being attached to the account number, Bill doesn't feel safe to tell the pilot about him just killing his own partner. Jen, who has been seeing Bill going back and forth inside the airplane, asks if everything is okay. Bill replies that everything is in control, but Jen believes that something isn't quite right. Bill later checks Jack's phone and finds out that he too had received messages from the mysterious passenger and was being blackmailed by him. Bill takes Jack's briefcase and checks it to find a huge load of drugs. Jack was talking about the drugs he was trying to smuggle. Nancy sees the dead body and is about to report it to the pilots, but Bill stops her and tries to make her understand the situation. Someone is trying to frame Bill and take the $150 million. Nancy decides to trust Bill and help him find the passenger who has been plotting everything. With help from Nancy, Bill asks all the passengers to cooperate with him, without revealing anything about the situation they're in. He's going to search all the passengers who seem kind of suspicious. One by one, Bill starts to check the passengers. He checks a man named Fahim Nasir, who claims to be a doctor. He then checks a bankruptcy attorney named Charles Wheeler. An NYPD officer named Austin Riley is also on board, who is going to London to attend his brother's wedding. So far, Bill hasn't found anything. But then, he stumbles upon a guy named Tom Bowen, who Bill remembers to be the same guy he met outside the airport. He said that he was going to Amsterdam, so why was he on a flight to London? Bill immediately restrains him and calls the TSA to run a background check on Tom. By now, the TSA has begun to suspect Bill and his intentions. The account number which the hijacker gave has put Bill in a really tough spot, so they want Bill to stop whatever he's doing. But Bill insists on running a check on Tom, and he later finds out that Tom is actually a teacher with no prior criminal records. Bill asks why he lied about going to Amsterdam. Tom replies that someone paid him $100 to just approach Bill outside the airport and tell him he was going to Amsterdam. Bill takes him around the plane to spot the person who had paid him. Tom looks around at all the passengers, but he doesn't find the one who Bill is looking for. Bill is still wary of Tom, so he tapes his hands and puts him in a separate seat. Bill's action without any explanation of what's going on makes other passengers suspicious of him. The 20 minutes are up, and so far no one has died, but then Bill receives a message saying the target doesn't only include the passengers. Bill rushes to the cockpit and finds the main pilot dying. He goes to the passenger named Fahim, who appears to be a doctor, and takes him to the cockpit. But it's too late, and the main pilot is already dead. Dr. Fahim says that the death is possibly due to poison. Bill yet again sets the timer to 20 minutes. He starts to question the co-pilot on what happened inside the cockpit. The co-pilot feels he's being suspected of murder and counter-questions Bill on why the hijacker demanded money to be transferred to a bank account in his name. Bill later calls the TSA and informs them about the death of the main pilot. He asks them to transfer the money or else the hijacker will put more people in danger, but the TSA refuses to negotiate with him, believing that Bill might be the mastermind behind all of this. Even the co-pilot himself in the cockpit has been told not to follow any orders from Bill. With little time left before another 20 minutes passes by, Bill heads into the business class to find Jen talking with Zach White. Jen informs Bill that Zach White can hack into people's phones. Bill asks if he can hack into someone's phone and make it ring. Zach replies that he can give it a try. Bill then moves everyone from the business class to economy, and Zach gets to work. When Dr. Fahim returns to his seat, Austin Riley asks him what's going on. Dr. Fahim replies that he isn't allowed to talk about what he's seen. Austin Riley, along with some of the other passengers, start to feel that Bill has taken control of the airplane and is causing a serious threat to their lives. They feel like they need to do something before it gets too late. Zach has completed his code. Bill now has to send an image file to the hijacker, which will change the phone setting from silent to ring, which means that when the hijacker will receive the message, his phone will ring. He asks all the passengers to keep their hands in the air. When everyone has followed his instruction, Bill sends the image file, and after a few seconds, he hears a cell phone ringing from Charles Wheeler's pocket. Bill takes him in custody while Charles Wheeler pleads his case that the phone is not his. As Bill starts to question him, he finds out that Wheeler also has been poisoned just like the main pilot. Nancy calls Dr. Fahim, who checks on Wheeler, but it's already too late. With this, one more passenger has died, and Bill has still not found the hijacker. Austin Riley yet again questions Dr. Fahim on what's going on, and this time, he reveals that the main pilot is dead along with Charles Wheeler, who was being held by Bill a few moments back. Austin Riley starts to believe that Bill has hijacked the plane and is soon going to crash it. While smoking in the lavatory, Bill notices a small hole through which the cockpit is visible. He now knows how the hijacker poisoned the main pilot. When he's talking with Jen, the passengers have started to watch the news. Due to the account number leading to Bill and him constantly refusing to follow the orders from the TSA, the news has made it look like Bill has taken control over the plane. His background of being an alcoholic and basically without any family makes the passengers believe in the story that Bill has gone mad. While trying to unlock the phone, which he got from Wheeler's pocket, Bill accidentally activates a bomb set to go off in 30 minutes. He immediately calls the TSA and informs them about the situation, but at this point, they don't believe a word he says. If the bomb explodes at the height they're in, it will cause a massive amount of destruction due to the increased air pressure. So, to minimize any greater damage to the aircraft, Bill asks the TSA to order the co-pilot to drop the plane down to an altitude of 8,000 feet, where damage could be sustained. But the TSA fears that Bill is going to make the plane crash into a city. Jen, who has already watched the news, shows it to Bill. He realizes that the whole world is against him and he's turned out to be the prime suspect. But right now, he has a ticking bomb to take care of. He starts to think of how someone could bring a bomb inside the plane. Then he realizes that air marshals don't go through any checking, so if there's a bomb, it has to be inside his former partner Jack Hammond's briefcase. And as he suspected, he finds a bomb covered with drugs. When he gets out of the lavatory, he gets attacked by Austin Riley and some other passengers who believe him to be the hijacker. In his struggle against the passengers, Bill loses his gun. After getting restrained, Bill tells them that there's a bomb in the plane and they need to let him go. Nobody trusts him, but then we see that Tom Bowen has gotten hold of Bill's gun and tells the passengers to let go of Bill. Tom believes that Bill is telling the truth and is only trying to save all their lives, so he hands over the gun to Bill. Bill then makes a powerful speech about his innocence and the threat they're currently facing, which makes everyone believe in him. As per the least resistant bomb location protocol, Bill plans to place the bomb at the rear door of the plane and cover it with as much luggages as they can find. If the plane lowers to 8,000 feet, the pressure will equalize, and if the luggages observes most of the explosion, they might have a chance to survive until they can land. But the plan to lower the plane to a good height doesn't seem easy, as 2 fighter jets arrive to escort and monitor the plane's direction. The co-pilot informs Bill that if he drops altitude, the fighter jets will take action, believing that they're going to crash land into a city. Bill tells him that he has to reach 8,000 feet in 10 minutes or they'll die. As per his plan, Bill takes out the bomb and places it at the rear door of the plane. Then all the passengers take their luggages out and cover the bomb. Bill gets a call from a TSA agent, who tells him that the money has been transferred to his account. Bill tries to explain that he's not the hijacker and he doesn't need the money, but the TSA agent begs to differ as one of the passengers has uploaded several videos online which shows Bill taking control of the passengers and even holding one at gunpoint. Bill looks around and sees a guy recording video with his phone. Bill takes his phone and checks the videos to find something interesting. He sees that while he was trying to get Tom to identify the hijacker, he had secretly put his phone in Charles Wheeler's pocket. Now, it's clear as day. Tom Bowen is the real hijacker, and he also has a partner in Zach White who takes hold of Austin Riley's gun and shoots him. Tom attacks Bill and manages to take his gun away from him. Tom's motive behind all of this is to send a message to everyone that no one is safe in this country. His father died because of a plane hijacking, and he blames it all on the government. Whereas Zach's motive is to get the $150 million transferred from Bill's account to 100 different untraceable bank accounts all over the world. Their plan has so far worked, but Bill asks how they're going to get off the plane before the bomb explodes. In order to parachute off from the airplane, the plane needs to be brought to an altitude of 8,000 feet, which the co-pilot isn't allowed to do. Then, Tom reveals that they were never supposed to get off the plane. His plan was to actually die with the passengers inside. Bill asks Zach to disarm the bomb if he wants to live. Just when Zach is contemplating about saving his life, Tom shoots him. With little time left before the bomb explodes, The co-pilot decides to trust Bill and goes against the TSA's orders. He takes the plane down to an altitude of 8,000 feet, which creates high turbulence inside the airplane. When everything gets back steady, Bill gets a hold of his gun and shoots Tom to death. And just as Bill had predicted, the balanced air pressure and luggages manage to keep the plane from exploding completely. However, the rear end of the plane sustains a great deal of damage, and the pilot has to land the plane as soon as possible. With everyone inside the plane holding on for their dear lives, the co-pilot lands the plane in Iceland and saves everyone's life. Austin Riley survived the gunshot as it only hit him on the shoulder. Bill goes on from being a prime suspect of a plane hijacking to a hero, and he later gets a date with Jen Summers. Thanks so much for watching. Tell us your thoughts about the movie down below in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, please leave us a like and do watch some of our other videos as well. And before you leave, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more movie recaps.